The Resource Center, also known as the Center for Christian Growth of Western New York, is located in the facilities of the North Presbyterian Church in Williamsville. We talk with Kirsten Albrecht-Carrie and Debbie Katz. Very pleased to be joined by Kirsten Albrecht-Carrie and by Deborah Katz, both from the Center for Christian Growth of Western New York. So let me just ask you a little bit about each of you. Kirsten, what led you into this work?
I've come a very circuitous route from being involved in Sunday school and youth work as a child and growing up, and being involved in a variety of vocations where I've always had a component of teaching. Before coming here, I was the director for the Bible Society of Western New York, where I learned lots more about the Bible than I ever expected to learn, and very different kinds of things than what we think about.
And you have roots in the United Church of Christ.
Yes, my husband is retired United Church of Christ pastor, but I did grow up as a Methodist.
Aha. Well, Debbie.
I'm a cradle Presbyterian, and I was Mary Milky was my mentor, and she ran the Resource Center for so many years. In fact, I wouldn't have become a Christian educator if it hadn't been for her help and guidance.
Well, with that, let's talk a little bit about what is the Center for Christian Growth and a little bit about the history.
Well, we've been in existence, I think, since 1969. I think it started as a mobile library for churches. It's always been ecumenical. We've had partners from the UCC, the Disciples of Christ, the Presbytery of Western New York, and a couple of other denominations who have come and gone at different times. But it's a library for churches. We've helped pastors, we've helped Sunday school teachers, we've helped Christian ed committees.
And individuals.
And individuals.
And the two of you are co-directors.
Right, right.
And you've learned to work together very effectively.
Yeah, we have. We come from very different...
Well, Kirsten, talk a little bit about your programming, the kind of programs you offer all the way through the academy.
We're not nearly as mobile as the initial program for the Resource Center was, but we continue to be the library resource with things that individuals, congregations, pastors can all borrow or access. We have held a variety of kinds of workshops over time, short 1 hour activities, half-day programs, full-day programs, and in the past there have been a number of multiple-day programs on appropriate topics at the time, and we continue to do that.
Well, I looked at your website and it talks about spiritual formation, teaching the Old Testament and New Testament, Reformed theology.
That's part of our lay academy. We have our Christian Growth Academy. We're always changing our names, but I remember the old ones. For people who want a more in-depth course, 20 to 30-hour course that they might not be able to get at their own church, we offer these topics, and it also helps train Presbyterians to become certified ruling elders, what they used to call lay pastors. Also, it's continuing credits, education credits for.
So you are able to offer.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Continuing education credits. Well, what do you offer specifically for United Church of Christ disciples?
Well, they're invited to attend all of those courses. The UCC has its own lay academy program and different criteria, so that's why we only offer the UCC and disciples clergy the continuing education credits.
Now, we're all in the midst of the pandemic, and COVID-19 is sort of sending all of us in crisis. I mean, we're recording as best we can.
Right.
For the Kaleidoscope program, churches shut down, or they try to open with no more than 25 people, keep experimenting. Some are deciding to stay closed until there's a vaccine. How are you all coping?
Well, we shut down our regular hours, but we anybody can make an appointment to come in one-on-one. We wipe down books. We make sure that that we're careful with that. We're also doing our Lay Academy courses. We're probably going to Zoom them depending on where we are when the next one's coming up in September, and that's coming up really quickly. I'm not too sure.
Is. Well, here we are in August.
Yeah.
So what is the offering in September?
New Testament.
New Testament.
Taught by Jerry Lyon, and that'll probably be Zoomed, I think.
Yeah.
So you're doing that by Zoom. What's the offering? How many sessions, or?
It depends on the instructor, but it's at least 20 hours.
3-hour course.
Three hours at a stretch. They all have reading assignments and written assignments and lots of conversation. And a lot of that can be done with a Zoom format.
So, and we're going to look at them in a few minutes. You have a lot of resources, again, that we touched on before is a bit of a challenge because they asked churches, for example, to remove their hymnals. So that didn't, and you have a large amount of books and other resources. How are you coping with that?
It's summer right now, so the requests have been slim. But that's standard anyway. And come, now that August is upon us, we expect to have things increase in terms of communication and issues.
We're Zooming a workshop on how to plan for Sunday school and talking to churches about what practices have worked for them. And we have the resources that we can suggest. Well, have you thought about using this with that? Some churches are going to Zoom Sunday school. Some churches are going to do a kind of hybrid. Some are waiting to go back to the traditional. So we'll see how it works out.
Well, when we were talking earlier, we used the term concierge. Like you go to a hotel.
Right.
And somebody helps you find out what all the resources are. Is that part of your role in this COVID-19?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, one thing Mary taught me was there is no resource that's going to fit all churches. And when somebody comes looking for something, the questions we ask are more important sometimes than the resources they get. What's your purpose? How many people? Who's coming? What are the, those kind of questions. And once we know what they want to use it for and what they hope to succeed in or what their purpose is, then we can really help them with what they need. I mean, there's not one size fits all when it comes to churches and people.
So you're really here to say, call us up.
Yep.
Or email us. Describe what your needs are, and we can help you find the resources.
Right.
Here you have Living Google.
Right, and it's also the stewardship of, if you're doing an adult program, and why would you buy, the books and the DVDs when you're only going to use it for 6 sessions, and then it's going to sit on your shelves. We've got it probably, and then 3 or 4 other churches can use it when you're finished with it.
So that's really interesting. So you're talking about Zoom conferences. You're talking about call us up and we'll help you find the resources. And if you don't have them, help them find where to get them.
Right. And Christian Ed committees have come and held meetings in the Resource Center. Now, that's probably with COVID not going to happen for a long time. But they were able to look at curriculums that they were thinking about buying, and they could have like a hands-on thing. We have lots of samples of stuff.
Well, Kirsten, Albrecht-Carrie, and Debbie Katz, thanks for this conversation, and now we're going to join you as you talk about what's in your library.
When you come to the Resource Center, as you walk in the door, this will hit you first. It's got all our newest resources on there, as well as collections. Right now we're showing all the collections we have of books written for kids on racial justice issues. And we also keep the reading list of the Christian Growth Academy's latest course that's coming up. It's New Testament, so all the New Testament texts are up there. Down in the bottom, we've got our samples of curriculum. And usually we've got to clean the shelves out. And come September, it'll be filled with all our Advent, Christmas, and Epiphany resources. And then they'll get cleaned out and be filled with our Lent and Easter and Holy Week resources. So, and these are things that deal with worship, children's activities, and everything in between. So we start off with the Bible section. Everything from background, interpretation. We've got a really great section on realistic cartoons for children. We've got charisma studies for adults, and then everything in between. It's divided into Old Testament, New Testament, and topics. There's special studies for women. Adult ed programs. We've got church history for the Presbyterian Church, the Disciples, the UCCs. We've got leadership training and just questions that churches have to deal with. We also have a really good selection of different types of confirmation materials as well. That's about it for this section. In this section is all our worship. Not just liturgies and stuff from Iona and music, but also worship that's designed to help with children understand what's going on. Church year, symbols, preaching, pastoral care, and then there's a whole large area of spiritual gifts and planning. A lot of children's activity stuff. We've got a wonderful collection of children's books. There's a tsunami of incredibly well done children's books that could be used for so many things, even adults as a devotion to start a meeting. This section has our youth ministry stuff, and then we move on to faith, parenting, and then we get into issues, healthcare, faith in public life, small groups, conflict resolution, Islam, women's concerns. We've been collecting a really great series on racism and justice issues. You might want to contact us. We've got a bibliography that's annotated. Cults, ecology. We're trying to keep this as updated as we can. That's it.